The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, Leo King, and we're here live for Deep Love Tarot, your weekly love report using the tarot. And of course, I dabble in a little bit of astrology here on highvibe.tv for the week of December the 9th through the 15th of 2019. Please make sure that you check out highvibe.tv and make sure that you become an exclusive subscriber, because you'll not only get exclusive content like my daily video horoscopes, my weekly sun sign horoscopes, my weekly intuitive, my weekly tarot, my daily tarot, and all the other special shows we have, like our new show that Craig and I have, who, by the way, is also on this show, which is so awesome, Full Disclosure, which is out on Wednesdays. And of course, you get deep astrology in its full capacity as well. And I would also love for you all to check out my Jupiter and Capricorn videos. They are available now at highvibe.tv under the paid video section. If you want to find out how Jupiter and Capricorn and all of the major aspects it's going to be making throughout the year and how it affects your sun sign, definitely check it out. We also have a bundle package. So when you check out the store, let's say you're a Cancer or you're a Scorpio or whatever, or the rising, you can get the whole bundle at a way bigger discount. Get all 12, so you can check out all of the energies with yourself, or you can even check out your friends, your lovers, or anything like that. And of course, we have a big event here on Thursday night. Going to be on 12/12, ironically enough. We are doing a High Vibe TV, full moon release for 2020. This is the last full moon this week in the 2010s. And we are doing a major event here. I'm going to be doing spiritual dance music. We're talking astrology. We're going to have lots of other high vibe talent in the house. And we have Kim Tabay, which is going to be doing an awesome art wall here. Everybody's going to be part of the art wall. We only have 100 placements available. With a link right now to see if you want to be part of this event and to find out more is actually on my Facebook right now. So follow at the Leo King on Facebook, or it's on my David Lawrence Palmer Facebook. It's a little different, with a link to put it on Instagram, because it's like, how links work on there. So check that out, and you'll definitely want to be part of it. We'll also put the link below on this video as well. Well, what's going on, Craig? Welcome to this week.
I know. I was looking. I'm getting excited. We got a lot going on here. It's a nice jacket you got on tonight there, my friend.
Well, I figure
you're channeling your Tom Cruise there.
What?
Yeah, I feel like you're taking it to the danger zone.
I got the camo on. I'm wearing brown boots. I was like, I better put on the brown jacket. But, it is the last full moon of the decade. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like we've made it to this point, and that there's no turning back now. It's time to use all the assets, all the knowledge that we've been gaining, that we've been going through in this life, and kind of push forward in this new life that we've been building. So I think it's good. I think people are out ready for a change. People are ready for love. So it's going to be good, I think.
Oh, I love it too. I'm so happy that finally, I would say that this decade's been amazing, but there is something to say of I'm ready for this decade to be over, and a full moon is the way that you release all the energies of the monthly cycle. But to have this as the last one of the decade really is a big release for the decade. That's why here at High Vibe Studios, and you should see what Craig has been doing, the magic with Kim, with Abby. This place is turning into a magical place, even more than I ever dreamed in my life. and they've just been doing so amazing. I came in here today, and I was just in a past life regression actually for the last 3 hours in hypnosis with Pam Teague, by the way. Follow her at sacred.stone on Instagram. She's amazing. Abby was in another 4 hours prior to me. So Abby and I spent, I think, a collective energy of about 7 hours in hypnosis today. But doing this reading after being through that's a new one for me.
Yeah, so full moon followed by an eclipse pretty quickly.
Yeah, so exactly. So we are like into the fate energy with the eclipse energy already building. This is the last full moon, and then we go into a new moon and a full moon cycle, which are eclipses. So this is kind of like the last kind of call, especially a full moon in Gemini, sun in Sag. You know, there's a lot to say about like final answers, getting last clarity, making changes in your environment and your perspectives and where things are going. And I think a lot of people need answers and clarity and want at least some sort of it, especially with relationships, because that's what this show's all about. Holy cow, right? I think we could use a little bit of like, can I get an answer from someone?
Can I get an amen, my brother?
So it's definitely a pretty wild time. And if you are in the chat, remember that we have an awesome show called Full Disclosure, which is on Wednesdays that Craig and I answer questions. And you can make sure that you send those emails ahead of time by going to hvfulldisclosure@gmail.com.
That is a course exclusive for High Vibe subscribers.
Correct. And on this show, we do take a look at the chat room, so you never know. We like to randomly kind of, I don't know, I was about to say like kind of, pick away at the chat room, and some lucky people get their questions might be answered, but that show's more official for that completely. And so I'll be looking at the chat. Craig will be looking at the chat. If there's a question that he sees or I see to pop up, we're just going to roll with it.
I got my eyes on the prize over here.
So if you never watched the show before we go into your sun signs, which we pull out of the High Vibe red cup here, all the sun signs are in there, so you never know which one's going to be first or last, is we are going to do a collective reading, and we do it with 4 different sets of cards here, and we also have the astro dice. So we're going to go into this collective energy. We got a big full moon this week. We also got Mercury now in Sag. So Mercury just got out of Scorpio. It was there for months and went through a retrograde, and now Mercury's in Sag, where, you know what, when it looks for this kind of quest to understand where you're going, man, Mercury's, a little computer in a big universe right now. So, woo! So it's going to be good to get some clarity from the cards today, and let's see what the collective energy says for love this week. First card that we picked is, wow, the Ace of Swords. You want to talk about us starting new and fresh with new information or new energies coming in when it comes to, communication aspects that need to be found in relationships. But, I see a lot of energy about fresh starts, new beginnings. I feel that it's also about empowerment, this Ace of Swords. And this is empowerment of your head about choices that you're going to make. So if you're in a relationship and you're like, I need to figure out some answers, whether we're staying or we're going, or how am I going to go, or how am I going to stay, or whatever, you got to have that empowerment, and you got to come from a new position, and you're going to have that strength. There is something to say that the King of Swords comes before this card, and that's where we feel so empowered, and we've already known our road and we've kind of gained it. But Ace of Swords is a fresh new start. I mean, this is something to say. This is where I love in this deck too that there's a red and white rose with the wreath, and I feel that this is definitely, where's both the love and the purity, not just love. Or not just pure, but not love. Like, where can you combine both that makes sense to you and combine into this beautiful energy? So communication, of course, is very key, but you also have to be empowered in the choices that you make with your mind, and you can't keep doubting yourself. Ace of Swords starts so fresh, you don't have anything to doubt because it feels so good, and you want to just put the momentum in. That's why, there's that kind of jab, like, I'm going to jab this, right? Like that Ace of Swords is upright, not reversed. So this is definitely us starting really new energies, really new spots, and definitely wanting to go into newer positions, not try and stay in like old situations or repeat old situations. You have to have that empowerment, have that bigger, understanding. Our challenge, I'm using the the Black Moon cards as our challenge this week. We got, the solar eclipse, which The challenge is, there's going to be a lot of endings. Solar eclipses bring endings. They also bring, sometimes kind of turmoil. But there is something to say about, it is a little bit like radiation to me, like to burn something off that needs to be burned off. But they do bring out major fated events. So the challenge might be something's got to burn out to bring in something new. But there also is this element too with the solar eclipse card saying like, these are very fated moments. So the challenge is like, you might not be ready for the fate. You might not be ready for such a revolution in your life, but you have to, because it is the road that is of pure and heart that's going to take you in a new direction with love this week. So it's kind of like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, like, sorry, like fate has its time, and solar eclipses, you can't stop them. Like as Craig was saying earlier, we're about to have a solar eclipse. So, you know what I mean? We're like 2.5 weeks away on Christmas. So
it's actually like harnessing that mental clarity, or like attaining that mental clarity, that want that you actually have within yourself, and like standing up for who you are going forward and shedding all that bullshit that you were.
100%.
100.
I mean, I don't think you could have said it any better, especially because when you're dealing with the sun and the moon, there is something to say about with a solar eclipse, that's the moon going in front of the sun. So, we're going to bring up all those subconscious emotional attachment stuff, and the sun's going to burn that stuff out. Even though the moon's blocking it, we cannot block and have, pull back emotions, or emotions that are just not dealing with us well, or subconscious energies block out our true essence of our soul. And that's a challenge. If you're going to get caught up emotionally in stupid little shit, especially because it's an Ace of Swords before this, like, you're not going to get the good stuff. So, especially in romance stuff. Now, looking at the future, we got the intuition card. So your intuition knows exactly what is right, but this is about, really, you got to feel it. You got to know it in your gut, and you got to go with your gut. And if something in your intuition knows like, this is not good, don't do it. Or this is what I want, this feels right. Like, you need to not be afraid of it. And that's part of the revolution, is it's going to come with some sort of major event. It's going to come with, this is a major event week in shifts and relationships. Major. Having the solar eclipse right in the middle as the challenge card. And with an Ace of Swords upright, so our mental capacity is very clear and our intuition is very clear. I mean, how can you not make the big change in your life that you want to really seed and really set a new intention and really set into motion the revolution in your life that you're looking for? And our spiritual advice card that we got is, wow, good fortune. So we have good fortune literally when we do make that activation of that major, which can seem very tumultuous. Remember that people actually like scared themselves literally to death during solar eclipses. So there is that kind of fear that comes with change, or something that just looks like, oh my gosh, like this, I'm so used to the light being shined this way in my life. Hey, good fortune is going to come from allowing this revolution to happen. This is really positive. This is a very positive week, but you're going to have to, whatever you think is, I can't deal with that, that's too much, is probably the most fortunate thing in your life. And this is not a time to mess around, because especially as Craig was saying earlier, a solar eclipse is coming in the next couple of weeks. And on top of that, this is the last full moon of the decade. And this week as well, Venus is on top of Saturn and it's on top of Pluto. So we have to make choices now. This is where Saturn and Pluto are closing the gap here by January 12th. So this is going to be the last time that right before Saturn and Pluto meet in Capricorn, this is the last time that Venus ever, since 1982 and 1983, will ever be with Saturn and Pluto pre the conjunction point in Capricorn. That might be a little bit too much astrology for some people, but you have to make major choices that are life-changing with your relationships this week. You just have to. And you have to understand the steps that you have to take, and you have to understand that you have to start to make a concrete choice. All the planets are direct except Uranus. And if you're going to keep going backwards into weird places, it is not going to go well for you. You're not going to get what you want in Taurus retrograde, Uranus. You will not if you go backwards. And if you keep going backwards in a backward momentum, everything's moving forward. Mars is moving forward. Mercury is out of shadow. Like, Mars is strong. Venus is on Saturn and Pluto. Like, everything is moving forward. Saturn's almost out of shadow. It's at 18 degrees. Pluto is almost out of its shadow. It's at 21 going to 22. So this is a major point here. This is going to be no joke. When we come back next week, we are just going to be close to the eclipse, and it's going to feel like life just shifts so fast. You're going to feel it right now with this week. All right, what do we get for the Astro Dice? We got Aries, we got the 11th house, and we got Neptune there. So we're going to have the courage to put all these pieces together and really find this understanding of what kind of world we want to have. But with Neptune there, we have to get rid of the delusions, especially about the ones that are holding us from the world that we want. Whatever is holding you from the world that you want, you got to like learn to surrender, and you got to let it go. And you got to tap more into the spiritual sense of that there are people out there that are here to hold you back and not give you what you want. And there are people here who are here for you spiritually, in alignment with you spiritually, of your true authentic identification of self. And this is where you've got to focus your energy on right now to take you to the ultimate path in your relationships, because this Saturn Pluto is truly about relationships, because it is ending the cycle of relationships from 1982 and 1983. I do want to say that this is extreme with Venus on top this week. This is definitely, and you can hear it in my voice, and I just sat in hypnosis past life regression for 3 hours. So like I have been in the space, like I have been in some crazy portals and realms in the last 3 hours. So like, please just know that this is coming from the most authentic, true heart space ever. Wow.
Wow. Well, that's how we're starting the show tonight. All right. That's good. I think that's the best outlook that we've gotten so far.
I think it's the best outlook we've gotten ever on the show's history. Like usually the collective's like usually the best out of all of them, but it was like, wow, that one's like the best of the best.
Yeah, we're not fucked. It's good.
And I want to I think that you bring up a good point. I want to remind people that, of course we're going to go into your individual sun signs right now, but also remember the collective energy is going well. So even if maybe your sun sign or your rising sign, whichever one comes up here, doesn't look the way maybe you want to, add that to understanding the collective energy of how to get through that. If it's hard, and if it's good, still look at how it's really good in the collective. So remember that we are all one and we are all connected, and we are all, that's why I've always been much more about collective energy than I am about individual sun signs and rising signs and stuff. But I mean, it's amazing. It's beautiful.
So beautiful.
So beautiful.
Oh
my gosh.
The most beautiful. And since I'm looking at the most beautiful Taurus right in front of me in the history of Tauruses, I think we're going to get Tauruses first right here.
You think so?
Yeah, Miss Abby Moneyhon there.
We got Virgos first.
It's close.
Universe, Virgos, they're going through a lot with love. They got the biggest alignments of planets in their love house. So
we just had a Virgo leave, so
yeah,
Miss Kim Tabay.
A lot of Virgos around. All right, Virgo, let's see what's going on for you this week. First card that we got is, and we got to remember in the astrology, you got a lot going on, Capricorn. We got the 10 of Pentacles upright. This is a great card. You finally reach the 10. It's kind of like this really high status and high spot, but it's about community, family, and it's also about building this kind of understanding in relationships where you feel comfortable, secure, and safe, and it feels like home. So this is about really going, what do we need to bring this to a much more solid base in your relationship life, or pick relationships right now, Virgo, that are much more in alignment with the space of, I feel like this energy right now is where not only do I feel safe with you, I feel good with you, or it feels like we could build something beautiful together that brings community also involved. And I think that for Virgo right now, it's important, like looking for relationships and being in partnerships right now that bring out a place where you can be yourself, where you can be your true heart. Because when the 10 of Pentacles shows up, it's like, it's so secure of a place. It's like when you go, I don't know, it's not maybe for everybody, but it's the typical understanding of like when you go home for the holidays, it's like, well, at least you have that base of that home, right? Like, there's that like foundation that you feel secure and you're safe. Like then I go sit on the couch here. I go eat my pie over here, like there's something to say, like, this is where you have to realize, like, if you're feeling disheveled in your home life, if you're feeling like a little bit off right now and not feeling a center, like kind of equal space, and where you feel balanced and where you feel a center point, there's an issue. And this is where you want to either give it what you got to figure that out, especially with the sun still finishing in a full moon in your 10th and your 4th houses. You know, you're dealing with, is this really working? Is this going? Do we have goals? Do we have foundation for those goals? If there's trouble in paradise there, or if you're picking people who don't have a foundation, like if you're a single Virgo out there and you're trying to date someone who's still like living like, you know, at their mom's or something, and or their dad's, and like, you know, they don't know what they're doing with their life, it's probably not going to be good for you right now. You're not going to be able to be yourself because you're going to be kind of tied down. So you're going to have to pay attention to that hugely right now, Virgo. The challenge card that we got is the air element. So yeah, communication. And I think that a lot of that goes with this foundational base. Like if you feel like you can't communicate, or you're not getting communication that you need to feel secure and safe, or if you feel like you're with somebody who doesn't have a solid structure in their life right now, I mean, it's going to be hard to even understand each other. You're in two different worlds. So, you know, but communication is definitely just overall for Virgo is going to be a major part of this week that's conflicted because of the fact that there's got to be conversations that are going to come up. There's going to be stuff that you're going to have to say. There's going to be stuff that's going to be exchanged that you might not want to do because there's challenging elements to it, but it's to understand where the base of the whole relationship is going. Or are we going to, if you're dating or if it's a new situation, like, you know, like if you're not feeling like that base really feels good, like you got to say it. Or if you don't feel like comfortable there, like you got to say it. Your future outlook on this is the wisdom card. This means that, you know, this is leading towards wisdom, but you need to use wisdom this week, because if you don't use the wisdom this week in your relationship life for a solid base and getting rid of any of the communicative clutter or misunderstandings going on, you know, then it might just end up to where you're just throwing yourself kind of out of a secure base. And more importantly, like you're not in a space to where you really feel that, you know, you can go the distance right now. A wisdom card, wisdom is used in life so we can continue to survive and live a better life. And this is about you living a better life and you having to get to the deeper parts of like, who is better for me? And also partnership wise, looking for somebody who has a good structure, who's secure, who is not having a problem with communication and is using their wisdom and is very smart with their life. They're smart with their money. They're smart with their emotions. They're smart with in every element of their life. These are the keys that you need to use this week, especially when it comes to love. Especially because this full moon is in your 10th house. This is about responsibility right now for you, Virgo. And I know that it's a time where, you know, the holidays are here and there's all this stuff, but, you know, responsibility trumps all that right now. And especially for you. And you did pull the affluence card. So, you know, this has to say that, you know, are you dealing with energy that's not that stimulating and they don't have some sort of affluence? To get the 10 of Pentacles and the affluence card is definitely telling me that you need a partner that actually knows what they're doing. They're on their game and they're actually known for what they're doing, or they're in a high position, whether they're a manager or they could be a CEO, or they just could be somebody who is influential in your city, or they could be really, you know, somebody that's really doing something positive and good. You are somebody that loves service. You do love helping people and being there for people. And if you don't have a partner that's in the same kind of capacity or has the ability to help you and to help others, you know, it's definitely something that is not going to work. And if you feel like you're the one helping that person out, or you're the one in affluence and you don't feel like your partner's up to the same par as you, that's going to be a major problem. And that's part of the communication, is like you having to step up and say, hey, listen, like, I'm here. It's like not an ego thing either. It's like, I'm here, but like, it'd be nice, since we're partners, if you could come up to this level. Or if you're single, like you need to be swooned a little bit by somebody who's actually up there doing the bigger work and putting themselves out there and doing good work and is wise and is known for that. You know, this is definitely not a time for scrubs, for Virgos. And you got the first house of Capricorn with the moon. Yeah, you're going to have to be tougher emotionally, and you're going to have to make tougher choices in your life that actually are about holding the integrity of your identity and of yourself and what you want in your life. You can no longer keep kind of pushing things to the side and subconsciously kind of putting things in the background anymore. You have to deal with responsibility for who you are, and that means by making choices that are the most responsible for you. And it's not easy. Moon in Capricorn is a tough position, because Moon in Capricorn, you know, it's not fluff. It's not cozy. You have to deal with kind of like making hard choices, and actually sometimes decisions don't go on the same roads emotionally as maybe we want. So there's definitely a lot about some major crossroads here for you, especially with where you're going emotionally and who's showing up. And also it's about, you know, that you deserve to have partnerships in love with emotions that really are concerned about your growth, where you're going, and not avoiding you or just like not respecting you either. I feel that one a lot right now.
Yeah, you got to fill up that soul bank. You know, there's so many times we get caught kind of like feeding ourselves with a bunch of bullshit and like giving away our energy for free pretty much, and we're not actually allowing any substance to come back into our life. So
yeah, I
we
mean,
gotta look for ourselves first sometimes, people.
I think that's super important. I mean, especially with that affluence card, I know that that can kind of have a little bit of like affluence to it, but it's like there is something to say for Virgos. Like, you deserve greatness or a partner that's showing up great because you're great. Just like Libras are great, who just popped up.
Well, if the trend is correct, Scorpio shall be soon.
Well, if we did Virgo, Libra, Scorpio back to back, all 3 signs in a row, that'd be a first time we got 3 in a row. It's like in the same.
I'm not opposed to that.
Looks like you're really ready to hear your love reading there, Craigie.
I'm feeling love and I'm feeling abundance coming towards all the Scorpios out there in La La Land. Libra's gonna have some love too.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, you get some love. You get some love. You get some love. Everyone's getting some love tonight.
Everybody in the chat room gets some love.
It's beautiful.
All right. Oh, thank you, dude. Somebody just said David is so tuned in tonight. Astro Daddy.
Somebody also wanted to know who made your jacket.
Oh, this is a Levi's. I got it at Kohl's because it was for my Indiana Jones outfit. It was like $60, or it was like $60, but like on sale for like 40.
$40.
Like, it's not real leather. It's pleather. You know what I mean? Fool's gold. Levi's came out during the whole gold rush. Fool's gold. The most amazing jeans on the planet. Remember, everybody bought Levi's in the 80s. It was like, you better wear Levi's. And then everybody came out with jeans and it was like, oh, sorry, Levi's. You guys are like, nobody wants Levi's anymore. It's so funny. Have you ever noticed that?
I might have Levi's.
Unless this is just Mandela effect. And we were in a world where Levi's were the top dog, but now we're in another universe where Levi's are like, what the fuck are those? So true, though. So true.
Did we just have a sermon moment right there?
That's a Mandela effect. Remember when Levi's were good? It's like people look at you like, what?
Do we have a quantum leap right in front of our eyes?
I'm literally, yeah, sliders. Hey, Levi's are cool. Okay, Libras. You wearing Levi's, Libras? Okay. Oh. All right, Libra.
Uh-oh.
You are in some toxic waters. Or you're dealing with somebody right now that's from the past trying to hold you back, and you maybe started talking to him again, or you're realizing you're trapped. This is the card of being trapped. And you're trapping yourself and you're choosing to stay there. And I don't know why I'm picking this one up intuitively, especially with all this Capricorn that's building up with Saturn, Pluto in your emotional house. It's like, you know, like you don't have to feel like you're feeling responsible to stay in situations you don't need to, or talk to people that you don't need to, or staying in situations that you don't need to, or leading yourself kind of astray from yourself because you feel responsible for somebody who doesn't even have their full things together, and it's holding you back from where you need to go. This is also, especially when, I mean, this is one of the weirdest cards because the woman is bound. She is literally, I mean, she's not chained, but she's tied up and she's in toxic waters. And the Eight of Swords always has to deal with sickness, or a sick person, or a sick person in the mind even. So you could be dealing with somebody who's a little mentally incapacitated, or somebody who needs maybe some help in the mental realm. But it also is just a reflection just on you right now. Like, what are you doing? There is something to say about, like, have you thought about everything through? Do you feel like you're your true self, or do you feel like you're like bound and chained because maybe you're not connecting to anybody? There could be Libras out there that are just like, I feel too tainted, or I just don't feel good enough to be in relationships. Like, this is where you also can't, you just need to be very careful about who you're around right now. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a week, Libra, where it's like, what are you doing? Like, you need to look at every romantic situation, even if you're partnered, and be like, there's some weird shit going on here. Whether that's in yourself feeling bound and like taken away, and maybe dealing with some of their energy, or maybe it's just like you not feeling like you're in your full self. But there is something to say that you need to watch it, or, don't jump in that car if that lover or that person you're interested in is about to go do a line of cocaine and drink some alcohol. You need to be high vibe right now. This is where you need to stay away from really, really risky situations, or situations where you're feeling kind of obsessed and pulled in, but it's actually pulling your life in a bad direction. This is a wake-up call week. Your challenge card that you got this week is the Sun card. Wow, your spirit. So you are not in aligned with your spirit fully. It's almost like somebody is trying to pull your spirit away. Or somebody has taken, you've taken on the role of somebody else's spirit, which is intoxicating in itself, but it's the hangover moment, where it's like, I'm not my true self. I actually took on this person's identity or role. Or you're still letting somebody from the past, whether it's an ex, or you're going through a divorce, or something that is, you still have bound yourself to this person. You feel responsible, and it still is holding your identity and your soul in some sort of way together. You got to truly deal with it this week, because this is not going to be something that you want to be repeated. And if you're dealing in a relationship situation where you're just feeling oh man, I'm stuck in this thing, I'm going to have to go through with it. No, you are not. I'm just going to tell you that right now, Libra. And there is something to say about secrets with this card. I always feel 8 of Swords. We don't like to reveal the toxic, especially for relationship stuff. You might be trying to hide some toxic relationship from everyone, that you don't want people to know about. Or you don't want people to know you're just talking to your ex still, or something weird, crazy. This is where you got to pay attention to it extremely right now. Or that you are underneath feeling that you're drowning, and you're drowning right now because your soul and is not connected with spirit of self and to the divine, to source itself. And this is healing. You have to heal this situation. This is way too clear. And the future outlook is good, but you don't have to be in this sickness anymore. You can heal. But if you choose to continue on this route, there is no healing. You've got to get through these first 2 steps first to get to the ultimate place. And healing isn't something of well, now what? And then I have to just go heal? No, you'll be healed, and you'll be free to feel not bound and in your true soul. And especially with the spiritual advice card that we got, veiled. I knew there were secrets. I know that you're hiding a secret, or somebody's hiding a secret, or both. I think it's all 3. I think that, it's you're not revealing what's really going on right now in your romantic life. You're not revealing how you really feel. You're not letting others know how you feel, or you're not even letting others know about the situations you're going through. So you need to come out and be honest, and you need others, and you need to, even if you have a question, you need to not be afraid to have that conversation and be hey, I'm not feeling like something's on the up and up here. So, I am going to pull one more card for Libras when it comes to what is going on. What is this veiled situation about? And you guys got the 9 of Pentacles. So there is something to say about, it's your independent, sovereign, powerful self is being veiled. And you're also afraid to really showcase whatever it is that you're dealing with, because you'd be embarrassed about it. But I think that you need to not be so embarrassed, or you don't even have to be embarrassed. If you get rid of it, then you don't hold it anymore. And then you can come back and just be yourself and whatever. But there is definitely not a pretty situation. And you are having Venus on top of Saturn and Pluto, and Venus is your ruling planet this week. And so it's on the harshest black crayon in the universe of all time. So this full moon for you especially is in the 9th house. There's bigger waters out there. There's more that you need to see, and you need to look at the facts, and you need to look at the perspective of things a lot clearer.
We have the dice too. But yeah, with that bill
I'll do the dice.
With that bill card, it definitely kind of touched on, with me, it's almost like internal issues with the Libra. It's what lies are almost you making yourself believe. That bounded woman is your internal soul. That's you're holding yourself to this thought process of what your life needed to be. And you kind of need to step out from that and let you heal and know that you actually have that worth, and you can bring abundance into your life, but it's got to change.
I think that you bring up a really good point.
2 cents.
Because it has to change. It's I don't know why I feel like there's a lot, it's too much hidden, but anything that you hide too long, it becomes held within you, and it becomes heavy, and it becomes even more toxic the more we're open, the more we're free, the more we're true and our higher vibrational self and our true self, we're lighter as a feather. We're not heavy. We're not feeling that Eight of Swords can make you feel tired. It can make you feel like you're not showing up fully. It can make you that you want to start pulling out of things that are great for you and go back into shitty places that you don't want to be. Your astro dice that you got this week is we got the 12th house with Jupiter in Libra. Whew. All right. I mean, I can't make that up. So yeah, this is a major moment for you to clear out a lot of baggage, past life stuff, and expand out of it and expand into relationships where there is no secrets, where there is truth. And there is something to say that you have good luck when you actually just kind of come clean with everything, whether that's to yourself or to others, or that partner comes clean, or you're willing to open up that conversation. But you cannot be just trying to barrel through this situation in your romantic life right now and think that it's just all rosy cozy. Like I'm sorry to say, like, you have to do this deep soul work and realign with yourself, because that Sun card as a challenge this is like a choice on whether or not you're going to leave your soul connected to spirit source for a toxic situation, even if it's been going good for a good time, or maybe it was subliminally ready to finally all pop up. Are you in this true authentic self or not?
Living in that authenticity.
We got Cancers.
Water.
So it did not go Scorpio, but it did go close.
A little water.
It went close. It went close.
Yeah, it's all about stepping up, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we've all been like internalizing almost like this self-worth and this self-doubt to a certain extent. And we've all made it this far, and it's time that we really let this fucking power shine through and step and create that new world that we want. It's all right there in front of us, so we just can't be afraid to like take those chances or like switch up a situation that you thought may have been working that truthfully, you know, deep down inside that it hasn't been working. So
somebody said in here, it's like an infection of the soul.
ooh,
Wow. I like that one.
deep.
You know, we all got to heal from infections, right? We got to take the time, and we also have to like treat ourselves good and to clear an infection in life. And you got to look at partnerships can become viral or bacterial like, and you don't want to have to use like, you know, and like, you don't want to have to use any kind of like, I don't know. I don't think you want to take some Purell antibacterial, like freaking hand sanitizer and rub it all over your body. That's not getting inside.
Yeah,
and you definitely don't want to have to use
You don't want to drink it.
antibiotics. Like you can move this from a viral situation that you can clear out and drink some water and take care of yourself and get rid of it, or you can move it down the ladder to where it gets worse. You know what I mean?
And I've been using Dr. Bromer's shampoo. Well, it's this.
So have you?
People keep asking.
What is that?
It's just like the cast iron, the 21 in 1, you know, the Dr. Bromer's.
Oh, the hemp oil.
Yeah. Peppermint.
I used to use that stuff for years. I used to use the peppermint.
Yeah. Well, I ran out of shampoo the other day and I had that and I was like, fuck it. I'm going to give it a shot. And it felt like it was drying my hair out. But according to YouTube, it's not looking too dry. So there we go.
Which one are you using?
The peppermint. It's in a blue bottle.
Yeah.
Feels very nice on your
I
scalp,
like
all
peppermint.
tingly.
When I was going through really bad anxiety and panic disorder, and I had that, and I know you can't get high off hemp oil, like, you know what I mean? I remember, like, at one point I was like, all my anxiety is from Dr. Boner's, like, hemp oil. Like, I'm being, like, I feel like I'm stoned. Like, this is the cause of my anxiety. So I threw it away. And then it didn't go away. And then I was like, all anxiety ridden. Well, I felt better when I was on it, so I'm going to go back to it. Like, that's how crazy anxiety can get. I'm not joking. That soap triggered me hard.
You're just fucking walking down Sunset Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah, you got some fucking Dr. Bromer's. I need it.
No, you know what's cool about that stuff is you can just take a little bit of it on a rag and just take a shower that way with water and like just do your whole body. Just get naked real quick and just go shh, shh, shh.
That's what I do. I get real naked, Turn the water on.
It, like when you're camping, like when I was at Lightning in a Bottle, like that's how you showered was with Dr. Bronner soap and like just a little bit of it and just like a rag, and you just do a quick shower like that.
Yeah.
It works.
Good night, Billy Ray.
All right, Cancers. Well, a lot going on for Cancer, of course, because, wow, Saturn, Venus, Pluto, and especially South Node and Jupiter. So there's a lot going on. Jupiter, of course, has been squaring over to Chiron, but, you know, Cancers are definitely going through the major relationship stuff about stepping into some, finding ones that are of the same level as yourself, making sure that you also are, you know, making choices for the betterment of your life. And these are intense relationship times for Cancers. First card that we got for Cancers this week is the Ace of Rods. So this could be about starting something really exciting and fresh and new this week for single Cancers out there. For partnered Cancers, you know, it's like, can you find that spark again? Can you find a new set of spark? This is a good indication that you can. So, you know, there is something to say, though, that this kind of can bring a little bit of drama to it, but it's a positive drama. But there is something to say about you need to follow wherever your true heart is first, because like no matter if you're single or if you're in a partnership, like if you like, I'm not going to like feed too much fairy dust here to Cancers with too much Capricorn here. You know, there is something to say that like you need to make choices on where your true heart lies, because this lasts the rest. I mean, like, you might sound crazy, but Saturn and Pluto meeting in Capricorn, I mean, we're going on a long journey. This is a long boat ride. Over 30 years until the next Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Way over 30 years. So with your relationship life right now, like, you need to really go, where does this align with my true heart, my true happiness, and especially with, you know, the sun here, and I mean, a full moon. You know, this full moon for you is in your 12th house. So Cancers, this is where you're going to have to look at what you've got to purge and what is in alignment with your soul. And with the sun in the 6th house, that makes sense for the reality that you want to be in, instead of living in a reality that's unhealthy or not a healthy situation. And definitely not using this lighting of the torch for unhealthy situations that are actually toxic, that actually don't hold any spirituality at all, or don't even do anything in your spiritual connection aspect. Your challenge this week is the South Node of karmic debts. You are dealing with a lot of karmic aspects this week, major. So it's almost like this is the end. There's ending stories here. So the reason why the Ace of Rods is coming is for new stories. And I'm putting out my last APV to all the Cancers right now. You know, the ones that are in partnerships that just are like, there's no way I'll ever leave, and even if I'm not in my real happiness or my real heart, and you're just leading off like some weird kind of story, and Mars in your 5th house. You gotta remember, like, you're ready to go to battle and to war for love, even if it's one that'll kill the whole army. You got to be careful. And this South Node in the challenge position is hard, because it's like these are karmic debts that have been done. And this is also bringing in karmic debts that need to show up that are new. So there is something to say also about not falling into the illusions either. And I felt that. That's why I said no fairy dust, because Ace of Rods with the challenge of South Node is like lifting up love that, you know, is an illusion that actually is like not connected to who you really are, of positive love, of true love that is truly possible for you right now, and or staying in debts that you just want to keep recycling over and over and over again. And the future aspect is enchantment. You know, it should be truly enchanting, the energy that you're around. Like, it should feel like, I know it's typical kind of Disney enchantment. You know, it should feel like that. You know, there should be magic. I mean, look at this stage behind me, right? There's these awesome colors, like Kim's painting of this, the moon and coming together, and how it cycles through the whole entire phase of the moon. Like, even these radical colors of this cool graphic that Craig made recently. Like, where's that? Like, if it's just like brown jacket, like if we were to erase this and just have a brown wall, like, really? Is that what you're gonna hold on to? You also got to use who's trying to enchant you in a positive way to get you back into your true magic and in yourself. Do you feel that in yourself? Like, do you know how to like connect with energy that does have the same enchantment back and forth? Or are you using the enchantment in a negative way and firing up negative stuff or repeating patterns. That has to be really clear this week to be figured out about. Wow. I cannot make this up. Spiritual advice card is the death card on the South Node of debts. There is a major close of debt and spiritual contracts for Cancers this week. In order for you to transform that into positive new ones, you cannot start a positive new transmission right now of beautiful love into your life. So you literally put the end completely. And that is only within your power because you're missing out on the enchantment of your life. Like literally, you're missing out on beautiful magic. And you're missing out totally when you get an ace of rods with enchantment. I mean, you could really make the most beautiful, most amazing, positive life of your life. But there's something to say about some ending karmic debt situation of a relationship situation that you have to completely deal with. And you did pull Virgo, third house with the moon. So you need to look at the reality and the communication. You need to look at the environment that you're in, if it's a healthy environment, or if you're subconsciously stuck in an environment that you feel like you're like a hamster that's on the wheel and you're like, there's just no way. I can't get out of it. This is my reality. It's like, no. You are the one choosing to be the hamster running in this little cage. The door is wide open for you right now. And you could be a beautiful little mouse running around in the field of dreams, playing baseball, or some people don't know that movie, so I guess we could say a field of flowers from The Sound of Music.
Field of Dreams.
Good luck on that one, Cancers.
It's time to check back in with yourself, Cancer. Get to know yourself, love a little bit,
especially Venus, Saturn, Pluto.
Come on.
In the relationship house, we got Geminis. Wow, we're going like forward and backwards, like kind of how this moon cycle is. So it's like, oh no, we're going that way. No, we're going that way. And then it's kind of like going like that. It's kind of weird. Gemini.
Boom. We're rolling.
You are rolling. All right, Gemini.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Full moon in your own sign. This is your time to realign yourself and make sure that you're in partnerships that are in line with yourself. Last chance, last call, last full moon in yours. We're ending. If any sign in the zodiac is having to check their emotions in relationships at the end of the decade, it's Geminis. Not only is the sun in your relationship house, but you have the lot of all the energy of Capricorn, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Venus. This Venus conjunct Saturn and Pluto about truth and about where your obsessions are or where you're putting too much energy in. Where does the buck stop to where you need to be back in alignment with yourself? And what kind of partners are you choosing that truly embody the energy of yourself? Or is it all about just to have a connection? There's a big, big, big reality check on that this week. Your card for this week to start off with is the Lover's Reversed card. So yeah, Gemini, this is definitely a week where when it comes to love, it's not only about that there's a lack of the love in oneself within yourself and kind of connecting it outside of yourself to somebody else to gain that love. And that's not going to play out too well. 2, there is something to say that this is going to be some quarrels in love or somebody that you really are putting a lot of energy into, or even long-term partnership stuff where there's some rocky stuff. Like writing is right on the wall. Like this is a major arcana card. And we are doing a love show. You did pull the Lover's card and you did get it reversed. Our challenge that we did get here is, wow, the moon, subconscious, emotional, soul, being delusional, being over imaginative, putting your emotions into positions outside of yourself, over taking care of somebody too much, giving somebody too much than they deserve, you not getting the emotions that you deserve back. There's definitely a lot of that going on right now. So then there's no coincidence that, I always look at, even when I was an astrologer in 2009, I was like, who is the sign that's going to get that last full moon of the decade? It's like, well, it's probably going to be always Gemini. There's something to say that Geminis have to go jump into the right decade with the right people, or then they become like on a crazy story the next decade or not, So it depends though. You never know, right? It could be sometimes Cancers, but it kind of makes sense to me that Gemini and Cancers usually are the ones that do get the last full moon of the year. And there is something to say about that, because it's like those two signs, when it deals with relationships, they have to be very understanding of the consequences that are dealt with what partners that they choose, that they go through. With Sag, it's like being the energy of the 7th house for Geminis. It's like, that's going to be the quest you're going to be on, and how many doors open or not. With Capricorns as the 7th house for Cancers, it's like, that's going to be either hell or the ultimate highest position. So it's like that makes sense to me on why those, and of course it comes during the holidays, and Gemini and Cancers have difficult times about dealing with relationship issues during the holidays. And it's because of this Jupiter, Saturn energy for both signs. But there's something to say that this is happening for Gemini. And I don't want, and having this Lovers card here in reverse, and happiness is what leads when you finally find your internal happiness. But you also find a happiness when you get out of the illusions and you deal with these really weird relationship situations that are going on for Geminis right now that are flipped. They're upside down. They're not making sense. That's where you're going to find your happiness, not in these upside down situations, and not by sugarcoating it, or even like drinking. The moon card deals, especially, in the soul card, it deals with, kind of like, are you listening to your true guidance? Or are you creating your own, like, a delusional guidance system here? And for people that are not dating anybody that are Geminis or anything, you can feel really alone right now. Like when it comes to love and all that stuff. But there's stuff that you're going to have to confront when it deals with how you deal with emotion, and stuff how you deal with unhappiness in yourself. That if you don't have that happiness in yourself, and you're not dealing with the emotion, and you're, kind of drowning in your own emotions, you're going to have to pull the happiness through. And the way that Spirit is asking is, your psychic energy is very on point. But sometimes it could be a little bit delusional too. It could kind of create stories that are not real, and I think that this is the hardest aspect is Gemini's, like, you guys are more mental. So when you get too tapped into psychic awareness and you're not using your brain anymore, and like not looking at the truth, like you might be pulling energies up and kind of coming up with stuff, and then not fact checking it, not reality checking it, and being like, hold on, like, is this just like too much of a crazy fantasy I'm creating, or even projecting onto other people? So your psychic energy has to be on check with delusion, and it needs to be on check with emotion, because it's easy to create the psychic story you want when you are emotionally attached to the outcome you want. Super easy to do that, right? Like, well, I psychically think that that's what's happened, so that's why I don't want to deal with this. Like, my partner's really, they just got arrested and they beat me, but like, I psychically knew they would do that because they needed to figure out how to not beat people anymore. It's like,
or that you, for some reason, deserved that negativity in your life.
Exactly. And then projecting it on others. So, wow, these have been some pretty gnarly readings already. This one, I would say, we have to pull another card. They pulled the Lovers reverse, so we're going to pull it for the Lovers reverse. Why is the Lovers reversed here? And it's 2 of Wands. It's people from it's 2 separate worlds. If you're trying to combine somebody who's in one world, and it's like trying to mix Mars with like Neptune and tell them to like hang out, like. We're using planets as like relationships, but or 2 different worlds, like trying to get like an athlete to hang out with somebody who is a, I don't know, computer person who hates going out to public events, and I don't know. I'm just
I missed the first part, so I was like, wait, where's he going with this?
It's just 2 different worlds, right? Like, yeah. And it's even funny, or we could use computer game athletes right now, that there's competitions now online to play sports, and then there's athletics that are actually being physically played. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but they're 2 different worlds. So it'd be like, hey, let's go for the football. It's like, okay, grab a controller. It's like, no, I have a football. Let's go play the football. Those are 2 different worlds that could seem so similar.
Well, there we go.
We got another 12th house with the moon in the 12th house. in Taurus. That's the 12th house for Geminis. So I gotta be just a true reader that there is a lot of delusion going on. There's a lot of, way too hypersensitivity about situations. This is also burying yourself. There's a song by The Used I love, which is called "Buried Yourself Alive" or "Buried Yourself Alive" or "Buried Alive." And you're burying yourself here this week, Gemini, into positions that you want to believe are true, but you are the truth bearer. And you have to use your mind again, and you need to see what world you're going into, and you need to really see where you're burying the emotions and secluding or escaping. There's a lot of escapism right here. There's a lot of escapism in the partnership realm. And also maybe hoping that somebody will save your life. It's savior complex. Creating it, and that's not going to bring you happiness, because all that's going to bring you happiness is you and yourself and aligning with something that actually is in the same world as you, and not dealing with these very heavy emotional, overly sensitive situations.
I mean, you're definitely giving them the keys to success. So,
thank you.
I'm taking mental notes over here. I got a whole sticky wall going on.
Wow, I just pulled up my own sign, Leo.
What? Taurus?
Leo.
What'd you pull up? Capricorn?
Leo.
Do
you want me to pull out Leo? I've been so good. And he spilled my Sprite because of this? Oh, no.
Whoa, player.
People in the chat room are like, he's been so calm tonight.
You can't be wasting Sprite.
He's so just like on point. Everybody's waiting for like Leo King to just come out. Well, Leo's here, so I'll get a little Leo King. Craig?
David.
Don't spill my Sprite, number 1.
David.
2, you have no idea where I just was for the last 3 hours in past lives.
Everyone's looking at you.
Huh? This better be a damn good reading for Leos. All this 6th house shit. Frustration.
Life ain't so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for work, but, Leos want to have love too. So, like, is this life just a hamster wheel, or is there some love in there too?
Oh, I'm a Leo rising and a Leo moon. I forgot. So
this reading connects you a lot, so you shouldn't piss off the reader that's a Leo sun and a Leo rising. Especially when you're double Leo too.
It ain't so bad. All right, let's get weird.
I know. I'm ready to get a little weird.
What you got?
We got the moon card reversed. All right. So, there is something to say that I think that this week it's like very clear about what is not good for you, what is not true. At least this is not about avoiding subconscious situation. This is confronting them. This is like, you know what? I see this pattern. I see where somebody's not showing up emotionally, truthfully, or they're not. And so you have to really kind of like, one, in a relationship, if the emotions in yourself or another person are not being expressed fully, or they're being like kind of weird to you, like you have to just really go like, I'm throwing that to the universe. I see what it is, and let that just be as it is. And they'll either come to you and have cleaned them and seen it or not. This is not about you chasing emotions down this week. Like, let emotions come to you that want to show you the divine and the best. You going to chase all the creepy crawlers in the fucking ocean? Have fun. If you want to go into the swamp, chasing emotions, don't be chasing emotions. This is not chasing waterfalls. You know what I mean? Don't go chasing waterfalls. No. Not going to be that week. So,
not up in here.
Moon reversed, I think, is a good card because it definitely is not seeing subconscious bullshit. It's seeing it. It's like, oh, shit. In yourself and in your partnership love. So, but it's also a good week where you can clear all that up. Clear all the weird subconscious stuff up with a partner or somebody that you're into. And if you can clean that up and you can see all that and see the truth of all that, there seems to be something that positive could happen there. challenge card is the 8th house of endings and beginnings. So there is a lot to say that for Leos this week, you know, it's like totally brand new beginnings are going to come from ending these weird emotional situations. It also is interesting that the moon card is reversed, and you know, we are having a full moon in Gemini, which is dealing with the new world, other people, with the sun in the 5th. Leos, this is about really finding the world that really connects with you, and it's okay. Like, you're going to have to let go of people that are kind of stagnant, emotionally hanging on. I'm feeling that a lot. Like, there's people that are hanging on emotionally, and if they're projecting those weird emotions onto you, like, bye. And then you don't need to go chase anybody. Like, this 8th house is like wanting to always, you know, it's the house of passion and intensity and commitment. And the challenge here is, I think, chasing for this edge, when this edge will show up to you if it wants to. So you have to learn to receive, and that's a problem. The 8th house is truly about receiving. That's what ending is in the beginning is. Like, I'm going to receive something new from the universe, or I'm going to receive that this is ending. And so this is a week where you just have to just sit back, keep your blinders off, and just be like, okay, all right, universe, you're gonna end that. You're gonna bring me this. So there's a lot about just sitting back and watching things happen and watching it work out. You do not have to put energy forward. Moon reversed, you don't need to chase the emotion, or you don't need to start getting into your subconscious patterns. Like, just watch how they will not work in a negative way when you watch this kind of natural cycle of 8th house life come out. Challenge it with the 8th house also, as well as like dealing with anybody who's, you know, trying to hold some secret or is a little dark. You know, it's like, let them show the light instead of like continually to show you the dark. Like, if you're feeling like somebody's, you know, throwing shade on you, just like ask for the truth. Instead of like, this is about truth, like being real, like putting everything on the table. And the moon's reversed, 8th house, like, where's this all going? That's a challenge, though, finding where it's going. The future will help us see it, which is magic. So there's a lot of magic that's trying to happen, and I don't think you're gonna have to do much. Like, the magical king or queen or everything is gonna come together. And I think the challenge is you are wondering what is an ending and what is a beginning and when is it? Well, why? Like, don't go chasing that emotion right now. Like, that's a challenge. You don't need to know the specific depth of what it is right now. All you got to do is watch this magic happen this week by not getting caught up into the subconscious emotion about obsessing over the definition or the transformation or whatever. Like, it will be received. You will receive it. Just allow it to be received. I know it's hard for Leo and Leo risings to just sit back and just wait. But it's like, there is no waiting when you just are content with sitting back and watching it show up, opposed to chasing it. There's no point in chasing. And we got the power card upright. You have so much power, 8th house on top of it. When you're just in your power, you're not chasing the emotions that, you know, you don't know where things are of the intensity or where they're at with the truth. Like, that power is going to come from that power of connecting to the magic, that power of receiving, and that power of dealing with, you know, seeing just where you're not going to play any subconscious patterns. You're not going to go chase, you know, weird emotional positions that you don't need to. And you're also not going to suppress yourself by chasing things that are just suppressional places. We got, for Leos, Aries, Uranus, and Aries in the 3rd house. So yeah, this is like communications key, new environments. This is going to be out of nowhere, you know, the things that you want, that you are clear about in your head, will show up like out of nowhere. This is going to be like one of those weeks where news, especially 3rd house, like messages or the message you need, especially in Aries that you want, is just going to come out of nowhere. So sit back and fucking let the amazing universe just lightning bolt the fucking message that you need, and the news and the excitement and the change in the environment in your love life this week. Just like sit back and just watch it happen. You've already presented yourself as a Leo. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, the people know. Trust me. No, it's not like people are... One thing about being a Leo, what's awesome, whether you're on social media or not, people can even find your shit and be like, who the fuck is this person? And blah, 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 da, 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 da. And you don't even have to do shit, because you put out yourself, and you put out your true self, and you put out your fucking awesome, amazing, because Leos are the best fucking self. People are gonna love that shit. And out of nowhere, just whoop up, and you don't have to do shit. You don't even have to chase shit because a king and queen don't chase shit. Trust me. You don't see a king out there being like, oh, it's my fault. Like, oh my god, like running around like the castle. Like, oh, come back here. No, I'm on my throne. Where's the queen that's gonna sit on the throne with me and own that fucking power, or vice versa?
I'm gonna be Danny Zuko, grease lightning down the storm drains. That's what I'm thinking. A little thunderbolt action.
Boom.
That's the vibe I'm taking with it.
I love it. No grease lightning. What's that laugh for?
That storm drain's actually right by us in West LA.
Is it offset Nella?
That they raced down right there. Yeah.
Look who just popped up.
Ain't no part of that Scorpio party. Baby!
How we doing in the chat? Oh, it looks like we got some peeps up in here.
The peeps, they woke.
I was going to check on the chat room for just one little break here.
What a fine time to be a Scorpio. It's about to be lit up in this bitch.
Yeah, so some of the comments are for Leo's, trust divine timing, Leo's, which good. I would say.
Good. I like it.
Oh, I don't always like chasing the little kitty cat. Ha ha ha, meow.
I just gotta chase the kitty cat.
I'm going to take that advice and chill. All right. Good reading for Leos. Yeah, I think it's a good reading for Leos. Like, learn to receive. Like,
ooh, someone said Leo King is the shit. So
I already knew that one, though. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you very much. I was just about to go sexual since Scorpio did pop up and people have been waiting for a little bit of edge. I was about to be like,
what were you about to be like?
When it comes to receiving, like, Leos, we like to be the lover, right? But sometimes we have to learn to receive. So sometimes you just need to sit back and receive. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's a really nice thing. Although we're not meant for that. We would rather give. But right now, this is not a time for like giving out everything anymore. For anybody that's not wanting it, like you just need to be, it's showing too that you've already put out with the Jupiter and Sag and Venus, like you already put out to the universe your wish. Like fucking let it come in now. Just let it. It's just like fucking Amazon. Don't get on that phone and be like, okay, it says estimated time 3 p.m. I'm going to check it at 10 a.m. It's like their estimated time is 3 p.m. Okay, fucking like chill out here. You know what I mean?
Amazon keeps delivering the wrong packages to my house.
Well,
what do you guys say about that?
I think it's a trust thing, Scorpio. But I also want to say that it's funny when you don't ever pay attention to your Amazon package and the timing. It just shows up like bang earlier usually, but it's when you're that person that's like, okay, where's it at next? And then you're like, it's not here. And then you're on the phone with them, like they're tracking it down for an hour and a half. Oh, the driver pad. And it's like, you don't need to do that this week.
You don't.
It's kind of like being on WebMD a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta stay off that shit. So
we ready for that Scorpio party here?
You know, I've been ready since October 26, 1986. So you do the math.
I mean, what did you do on October 27th, 1986? Like, how did you go about being ready about it?
I was sucking on my mama's titty, getting some milk.
So you're getting some milk. Probably, like, we're just showing your schlong around the whole entire fucking family. Like, put out the word.
I was napping.
You didn't even, yeah, exactly. You're a Leo Scorpio. You didn't even have to, like, show it off. You just were just, like, laying there. And everybody was just like, okay, get the word out.
Oh.
I have a funny question. Did your mom ever wash you in the sink when you were a baby?
I'm sure she did.
Like there were those sink baby washes?
Yeah, definitely. Or like out in the grass with the hose.
I had those a couple times.
Mud.
but that was during mud. Yeah, exactly. But there's pictures of like my Oma, who's 94. I love my Oma. But like my mom washing me as a baby in the sink, like, you know, a couple times. I mean, of course, my mom, she put me in the bathtub, trust me. But when you're like an infant, you know, like there is something to say, like it's probably a lot easier with the sink right there. Like, shh. Even though I'm like, ew, Mom, all the germs. Like, okay, didn't you just pull all that shit off the fucking, back in the 80, 84, 85? Like, I hope they had antibacterial back then. All right.
No, they didn't. That's why we're so healthy.
So I know, it's true, actually. Parents need to like let kids live and run in the dirt and eat spiders or whatever. I didn't do that, but you know what I mean? Like, I fell in the dirt and got fucking cut and blood and put the dirt all over it. I used to say like spit on it and put dirt on it, like when I was a kid, and I did that shit, you know. There's something to say that.
I still say that to this day.
Yeah, like kids today are like, yeah, you had to call on my iPhone. Like we couldn't call our parents when there was a problem. It was like we had to talk to our friends. Like, okay, we need to figure this shit out, or if our parents find out, we're fucked. You know what I mean? Like now it's like, call your mom now. You know, like fucking like whoa. Thank God we were part of that last part of the generation. All right, Scorpio.
All right. On that
8 of Cups.
All right.
Oh, this is a good card.
Abundance.
You just, well, hey, if you want to look at it that way, but you know what? There is abundance when you are finally have purged all of the emotions of an attachment that you still think about. This is like completely moving away from a complete old partnership, past relationship, or if you're still involved in a relationship that you know is like on the fence or weird, or it's an old ex that came back into your life, or you're still thinking about an ex, or you're still, you know, this is like a full, I am out of that full, like, this is like the full cutting off, especially with Venus on Saturn and Pluto in your third, like in the mind, in your environment. Doesn't matter. That's the same thing. Your mind is in your immediate environment. So, but if you're having that old energy around in your environment, or like, let's say you have an ex that you lived with and you still have their stuff like in your room and you see it, like this is where you clear everything out so you can let in the new stuff. And you can't be mentally attached anymore to it. And especially emotionally though, this is where you emotionally fully go, I'm going into a new sunset. So this is a good energy, but maybe there's some Scorpios that just haven't dealt with some things fully yet. Or they're in a situation, they're trying to bring back some old situation, and it's just like, no. Leave that. Leave. The challenge from this is the Venus love card. Oh, that you... It's almost like this feeling that moving on to new, complete energies with people that you've never really tried for before or anything like that aren't going to work out. That only like love was from that old situation and only will come from an old situation. You got to get rid of that story this week. But the challenge is love this week. And that challenge is definitely directly connected to, have you fully let go?
Yes. Short answer, yes.
So this is all about fully letting go to allow the love to work in your life instead of continually, especially with all this third house, still texting about it, still talking about it, still talking to your girlfriends and being like, oh, my ex just texted me this and blah, 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 and blah, 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 or still being around your ex. That's the worst. Like if you're still living with your ex, or you're still around your ex, or you're still, you know what I mean? Like this is not, or if you're in a great relationship, but you're still texting your ex. Oh, that's going to cause some love challenges this week.
Nice. Don't do that.
Overall, it's the opulence card. Wow, you can have the wealth. You can have a much more positive, wealthy, affluent, like amazing position in your life if you finally allow the pure new love to come in and leave all these situations you've been in to this point that didn't work out, or that you've tried before, or you're trying something over again. I keep getting this. It's like you're almost thinking about trying something over again, or you have brought somebody in to try over again, or you're talking to somebody from the past all over again. Like you need to allow this new stuff to come in to give you the true opulence in your life, the true wealth, the abundance, the greatness to come into your life. Especially with this full moon in Gemini being in the 8th house, it is about truly transforming. This is your normal house of your mind's ideas of what to do. And with the sun in the second, knowing that you can have the best in the world. And why don't you actually go try to open up a doorway that's better? Like, you have not tried that yet, Scorpio, at this point, based off the astrology.
You are worthy, Scorpio.
Yes.
So am I. We are all
But
worthy.
you have to actually try it and don't feel responsible. The eight of cups is hard because it's like, you have to make a full kind of like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go see wherever I want to go see, and like leave it behind, the emotion. Like, you don't need to have emotions still trapped. Like, well, I'm kind of dating this ex, or we tried this one thing once, or blah, blah, blah. And there's another situation you want to try. Go fucking try that, and don't leave any emotions in that fucking department at all. It's kind of like being in a mall. Like, okay, I tried on those Levi's at the Levi's store. I'm going to go somewhere else and try these jeans on. You don't need to be like, can you put these on hold, please? It's like, they're fucking Levi's.
You can go to Walmart and get some jeans for
You got lucky.
$9.99.
Look at this. Ding, ding, ding. Ringer, ringer. Beep.
Party.
So there's a lot of luck
Giddy
in
up.
this love department, but the challenge with it is not about trying new things and still attaching to old situations or comfortable situations that you know of from the past. Anything that is dealing with the past that you've been romantic with before, or that you're still emotionally connected to from before, no luck in love. But if you actually disconnect from that and try to go for love and go for somebody who has more wealth or opulence or a status and place you that you're afraid of in many ways, because it's going to take you to a higher position in your life than you've never been for before, is the ultimate luck of your life this week, Scorpio.
I've been feeling pretty lucky.
This is not a bad week.
Life-changing energy healing with Abby Moneyhun last Friday.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, she touched deep into my soul. And she pulled out some dark workings inside.
Is there some like weird Scorpio Taurus shit I don't know about that went on this weekend?
Yeah, definitely.
I know that she did she gave you like a healing, right?
She did. She touched my spine, and it was a cerebral pump.
Cerebral pump. There was no prostate
She
pump.
pumped me. Almost, but not quite. It worked. Bottom line.
All right. Well, I'm happy to hear that. Let's see what the Astro Dice say from Scorpios here. Oh, I already had pulled it. It was Mars in the 5th house of Taurus. So this is your relationship house. Love aspects, but again, Taurus, going with much more higher quality and levels of quality that you've never been to before. Like, it's kind of like when you buy your first like designer like sport coat, or for a woman, like your first designer high class like $700 pair of shoes, $2,000 pair of shoes. There's something to say like it's a risk. It's like you're afraid, but once you do it, you kind of know like, oh, I can do this again. Everybody loves these shoes and I do feel better in them. So think about relationships. Like, why are you so afraid to have better? Why are you trying for the same old kind of shit or what's comfortable or easy? Because you're afraid and you're in fear.
Damn, Daniel.
Damn, Daniel.
Damn, Daniel. No, but that one resonated.
Opulence.
We got that opulence.
Go. If you're a Scorpio,
Get opulent.
what I want Scorpios to do is go on their iPhone or their Android or their Windows phone or
All right.
whatever you use.
What do I do?
And you were going to go and you were just going to type in opulence on your Google search. And on the dictionary, okay, screenshot it and make that your background this week. Great wealth or luxuriousness.
Yeah,
Rooms of
that's what
spectacular
mine says.
opulence. And then look at all the words that are underneath it. Lavishness, lushness, luxury, splendor, magnificence, grandiosity, wealth, affluence, riches, prosperity, money, fortune, deep pockets. Why are you afraid of these kind of people? Scorpio?
In Czech, it's pronounced bohatství.
Well, there's sumptuousness. It should say sumptuousness, not scrumptious, like I talked about recently.
Sumptuous. Oh, lovely, lovely reading. Well, thanks there, Davey boy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Aries.
that.
Aries.
Oh,
Aries.
you know?
Aries. Aries.
Is it Aries? Would you say?
Aries. What do you mean? I don't sound like Aries.
Is that what the Aries are saying?
Well, I was going Aries because they're warriors, you know. And then I saw some ladies like, I don't sound like that. I'm Aries.
Nice.
But there's still that whole like, I'm Aries. I'm a warrior. I'm gonna say it. I'm a warrior.
Be both.
Don't say that. Like, why are you talking like a guy? I'm a girl. Like, Aries.
All right, Aries.
All right, Aries. A lot of Saturn, Venus, Pluto going on this week in your 10th house of career and long-term goals. So think about the long term here. Think about who really works for you in your like recognition, your reputation. You don't want to be walking with somebody like down the street that would affect your reputation. Or more importantly, go to a Christmas party this week with somebody that's going to affect your reputation. And somebody who doesn't have status. Sorry to say. Like, this is not a time to go, yeah, let's just say that. You know what I mean? Okay. Aries, your first card for this week is the Queen of Pentacles reversed. So, yeah, if you're going to put the abundance into some sort of relationship this week, it better be worthy of it, because there is self-worth checks going on, not only in yourself, but in the kind of partners that you're picking right now. Or maybe you've lost the value in a partnership you're in. But, you know, you need to maybe reassess that, or you need to get to the bottom of what that is. Why have you lost? Or it's in yourself. Like, you don't feel like you're worthy of something good, or there's just nothing good out there. Like, it's like one of those things. Like, I've been on Tinder. I've been on this. There's just nobody good. Come on, Aries. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is about your own values and self-worth and who you're choosing. And making sure that this person really does have status and not just like false status. $1 million. You got the water element as your challenge card of the sensing. Your sensings are what your sense of well-being, of what is abundant to be in partnerships, is off. So, but the challenge also might be that the sense is true, that maybe, you know what, whether you're dating or you're not, or you're in a relationship, that, you know, there is some sort of partnership situation here where your senses are that there's something not great. Like, it's like, this feels a little off. Or maybe you don't feel that you're being looked at the way that you want to be looked at, or you're looking at what you're looking at being like, why the fuck do I have this old broken record? So it is a full moon in your third, so you do have to look at your mind, your environment, and with the sun in the ninth, with this opposition, right? It's like, and with Mercury here, like, this is about looking at the broader horizon now. With all this Capricorn in the 10th, like, this is where you mix having responsibility that's valuable is going to make you feel great, because it's about making choices of responsibility and partnerships that actually add value to your life, instead of ones that are not adding value to your life. And that is so important. And you're able to sense this, but I think the challenge is accepting the sense, or the challenge is that you are choosing not to pay attention to your senses. And you did pull the luxury card. You could have so much better in your life, Aries. You know you can. You need to allow yourself to really step into that higher quality. You know, the luxury card, you know, just deals with just a higher quality. It's like, you know, when you walk into, well, you know, I stayed at the Cosmo this weekend in Vegas, and, you know, it's kind of like, I mean, you can go stay at at the plaza downtown for like $33, and there's literally fucking drug dealers there, and like they haven't changed the carpet out since like the 70s. Or, you know, you can be on a hotel on the strip. Like, you know what I mean? There's kind of that. What are you choosing with partners right now? Like, did they change their underwear in the last 3 days? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do they take care of themselves? Are they, are they in a position, especially since you're dealing with status and you're dealing with trying to advance your life and your career life and long term? Like, have you become a mom, or are you like trying to like hold on to energies that don't know how to really create their own abundance and their own luxuries and make your life better at the same time? Spiritual cleansing. Yeah, you got to cleanse yourselves of these relationships this week that are not good for you. Again, this is a little bit of a repeat from, I think, last week or the week before, Aries, where there is this like, still kind of still energetically connected to a relationship that has not valued you, that is not worthy of you, or you are trying to, you're trying to connect with something that's not good for your current relationship, or, you're not valuing your current relationship and you're trying to get into a toxic situation that you're sensing things are wrong because you think it'll bring you the right luxury. No, like maybe you need to do some cleansing of where your emotions are not in alignment right now with the best abundance. And there's something to say that Aries are in a place right now where it's like, this is not time to go into these stupid waters with just bullshit and clearing yourself of the bullshit that's hanging around you right now. Like, this is a bunch of thugs or a bunch of just, two pot or like pot, like just I don't forgot the old expression, but
yeah, Tupac Shakur.
He was pretty hard though. He was pretty gangster.
He was.
So I can never say one negative word about Tupac, but
he seemed like a very nice gentleman.
But I would just say that this is like really getting rid of like, I don't know why I'm getting like twiddledee and twiddledum. Like, really, Alice? That's who you're gonna pick out of the whole story with the little fucking on their head, like. We've got the 9th house with Saturn with Sagittarius. So you need to be much, much, much more responsible about what you're opening your doors to. So yes, it's a time to use this time to open doors, but you need to open doors. One, so some areas are not opening doors and they're staying in these weird situations that you need to clear spiritually, that they're not good. Two, there's areas out there that are like not smart about the doors they're keeping open. Like, you need to learn to close some doors and like be like, yeah, Saturn's saying like, come on, too many doors here, like wait open still, especially if it's an old relationship or something where they're not valuing you, or they didn't give you value. They never appreciated you. They never really did at all. They never told you anything positive there. Like, they ended things with like I don't value you at all. Like, there's something to say about that, and there's something about you having to like be very cautious about which doors you're opening right now, and be very responsible for closing the doors fully to cleanse so you can let the right love in. There's been a little bit of a toxic energy kind of going around some of the readings. Some signs are dealing with some toxic shit.
It's good though. It's that last little phase before we wash it all away and step into that new light.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's why Pisces popped right up.
See? But, we got to cut those cords.
Yeah, or Aries need to go do some past life regression work right now.
Or that.
That's some deep spiritual cleansing. You'll see who's attached to you whether you realize it or not. It'll be like, wow.
Or who you're holding attachments for. Trapping that energy. You gotta let people free. You gotta let them go. Can't just keep holding on. Dragging them down to the depths with you.
when you go into hypnosis, you go like,
Where do you go?
you, it's like Inception when you just go, and then you literally switch into the other realm. Like I love it. I don't feel like it's something like, it's kind of like a psychedelic trip, to be honest with you.
Definitely.
Like, I feel like it's not something that you just go, every week I'm going to go do a hypnosis past life regression. Like, I space them out. The last one I did was 5 years ago. The one before that was 3 years prior. So, like actual in the chair with Pam Teague, by the way. I'm promoting her at sacred.stone. She'll do it on Skype with you with her bowls. I've done it before with her on Skype, like in my bed, like with headphones on, like fucking talked her through everything, went through some of the craziest past lives of my life, actually was on a Skype session with her. Check her out at sacred.stone. Pam Teague. I've been promoting her since 2011, but I've known her since 2008 on Soul Garden, and I can give you a million recommendations for her. And you can ask Abby or anybody. I don't ever recommend anybody personally for much anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been recommending her my whole spiritual journey. She's the most amazing woman I've ever met in my life for this deep, deep, deep spiritual work. So I'm serious. It's the deepest work ever. I think that especially if you're into astrology or tarot and you haven't done past life regression work, that's when it all clicks. Your astrology chart clicks, tarot things click, people click, everything clicks. Like, I get it now. And you get connected to source so deeply, you get back to your true self. Like, you really feel your soul fully blown in its true natural state. And all the other weird things about reality and stuff are just gone. So you can be in that pure state and see what's going on. And it just shows up. Like, source and your guides and everything bring it fully to you. I was in the most amazing worlds today. It was just, And, living your past lives is like living your past lives, like going back. We can jump times and go back and look forward and go outside. So, and you know what? This is a very good kind of Piscean conversation as we go into the readings. All right, Pisces, let's see what we got going on for you this week. Pisces, your first card this week is the Page of Cups reversed. So I know this isn't the easiest card right away because Page of Cups wants to go have a great time and have fun and love, and it could be reversed. So if you're expecting somebody to be some way this week, they might not be that way. It's almost like going to be the unexpected, the person that you don't think is going to show up or not going to be the fun that will be. So it's still a good card, but Page of Cups is also like people not communicating emotionally, or it's toxic emotion, like, saying when you're really drunk or on ecstasy, like, I love you, like, you're going to be everything. And then waking up the next morning like, like, what did I wake up next to? Why did I say that? So Pisces, you got to really, especially with all this stuff in Capricorn in your 11th house, be really thinking about the world and the connections you're making. And, especially with this full moon happening in your 4th house, you need to watch how you are communicating your emotions and watch how your emotions are being dealt with very intensely. And as Page of Cups reversed wants just nothing but the positive emotional stuff. But I'm sorry to say that there is something to say about when it comes to partnerships and relationships. There's going to be some like subconscious stuff thrown back at you about what you have kind of, thrown out there. So, even though you might be wanting to deliver just like positive stuff, like you're going to have to kind of reap the karmic aspect of like however that you've been communicating. Or you could even feel Page of Cups reversed, kind of feels like sometimes you lost a love, like I lost my opportunity or something. Don't start playing that game. So this is where when you start playing like mind emotional games that are all really negative, like, sure, we all mess up, but you have opportunities, and it's about finding the opportunities to deal with it instead of just sitting in the wallow. But it could feel like lost love, or I missed an opportunity or a chance. Like, let's see what that challenge comes from. Yeah, the Leo card. So it could be a Leo itself, or it could just be, like true love and happiness because you lack the will to step forward into it fully, or step into your royal self, step into your highest self of true love and true, you this week you need to realize that you need to like learn to put love first instead of these distractions. Page of Cups is like a little party person. Like, oh, let's go to the party. Let's go to the club. Let's go. Page of Cups. But when it's reversed, it's saying like, is that really bringing you to love? Or is that just like then leaving you back at your house, like driving through Del Taco late at night and fucking eating food? And fuck. That was fun, but I missed out on something. So, this week for Pisces, there's a challenge too about like love itself. Leo rules love. Like there's a romance, but it's like the love within yourself. And I think that, this is about having to face a lot of those things and more importantly about those emotions that communication wise that, are difficult for you to deal with. You're going to have to get over the challenge of like presenting where you sit with that fully instead of being very Piscean, especially Page of Cups reversed is kind of like you wait till you're drunk or you wait till, the last minute when it's too late. You don't want to get caught up in that energy this week. You have to have faith. That's what this is asking for. But you have to have faith once you make some sort of jump into the willpower and you properly understand how to use this exciting energy of emotion instead of putting it kind of into places that aren't going to get what you want or expecting people to be a certain way. But how are they going to know if you're not showing the will of what you want? You're going to have faith that by showing the will of what you want, that the universe will take it the way that it wants to go, and learning how to communicate your emotions from a clear space instead of kind of like a very Piscean, especially since we have Mercury and Sag here. Like you got to you're giving too many beating around the bush energies, right? Like instead of just getting to the centric point. And you did get the new moon card. Wow. So it is interesting that, a new moon is definitely the start of a new cycle and the end of new stuff. But this is the spiritual advice, start from anew. And it was weird because I was channeling this whole missed opportunity. There's new chances for you, but you're going to have to step up a little bit more now. And I think that the missed opportunities in a romantic relationship that you've been in already, or that you want to try, or that you're dating, or that you don't feel like anybody's coming, is about how you express your emotions and about how much willpower you do have and how much you're willing to show it and how much you're willing not to show it is the determination of why there's something feeling lack. And yet to have faith, that's the whole number one thing about Pisces anyways, is faith in the universe. And how ironic, you pulled Leo, second house with Pluto. So this is about self-worth issues, about your extravagance of yourself. You need to change and you need to be more connected with, your self-worth, your physical appearance, and not being afraid to show why you're so amazing. Leo likes to show off, right? Likes to... Do you think I would ever come on here and not do my hair? You know what I mean? And look, fucking camera ready. Do you realize that I have to do that every day? Imagine every day. And make sure the outfit looks at least somewhat decent. I mean, today it's not the best, but still I feel I could still rock it. And I'll still make it look badass. So this is where you need to transform your energy, Pisces, into owning your amazing frequency of your radiant vibration. And stop hiding. Pluto's in the second, hiding your greatness and hiding your greatness of your love, hiding the value of the love that you can share as well. What do you feel about that one, Craig?
Well, I feel that you speak a lot of truth when you say having to show up and kind of, present your worth on the outside by how you're reflecting yourself on the outside actually kind of, to me, reflects what you feel about yourself on the inside. If you are being authentic to yourself, sometimes, you might not feel the best, but you got to kind of put on that makeup and fucking fake the funk a little bit, and that's okay. But you still got to live in that authentic truth to yourself as well, and kind of raise that vibration from within.
Yeah, and it's okay if it's not every day. Every day you don't need to be I'm wearing a fucking cocktail dress and my fucking high heels and I'm fucking right. We don't live that way. But it is just showing up and being authentic with outer wise and showing yourself, because I think that hiding feelings and hiding your greatness, like, you know, people feel that if it's going on for days and weeks and months and years, you know what I mean? Like, it's like
100%.
It kind of, with Pluto, becomes like a big oil drill down, where it's like you can reverse that drill and phoenix out. That's why I love Scorpio. You're either drilling all the way in or you're taking it out, like whop, and going to fucking infinite. So fucking interesting read for those Pisces. Who do you think that's next? We only got a couple. We got like 4 more signs left.
Like 4 left.
And
Taurus.
we've got Sag now.
Sorry, Abby.
Why is it with the laughing with Sages? Or was it because Taurus wanted to come out? Oh.
Abby.
Ah, that Taurus energy wanted to come out.
Saving the second best for last. What up, Davey boy?
Oh.
What are you thinking?
I was thinking about saving the second best for last.
It's Taurus.
I know. I was just thinking about that. So Sagittarius, happy birthday, by the way, for the Sagittarians. Full moon in your relationship house this week, so
Winner.
you know, there's something to say. I was talking earlier about how Geminis and Cancers have full moon energies, and it's Sages and Capricorns that have full moon energies at the end of the year. So Sag, you know, your actual full moon is in the relationship house, where Geminis is in their own house, but the sun is reflecting from their 7th house relationships. For you, this is like your own soul, and emotionally, are you in emotional relationship situations that really make sense for your environment and your truth and the clarity of your life? And with all this Capricorn energy and Venus conjuncting Saturn and Pluto, it's like you have to make a big choice about value and about your self-worth and about whether you want to hold on to something and hoard on it and be stuck with it for a long time, or ditch that trunk and move on to a better, prettier trunk. You know what I mean? All right. Sag got the Queen of Rods. This is an amazing card upright. This is about following what you already know. Like, you are not an idiot. You know exactly the love that you want. The Queen of Rods is no stupid lover. It knows how to love properly, and it knows what is the most abundant love ever. She's able to grow. She always got a sunflower. She's even got a kitty. If you look at the original Rider-Waite, there is this aspect of her intuitively knowing, and she is dominant in her beautiful energy because she feels beautiful when she's in the right love connections. A Queen of Wands, extravagant energy when it's in true love and true happiness. When it's not, it feels and looks in the mirror and feels like mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And then they realize, oh, it's not me, it's Snow White. Fuck, I'm going to go kill that bitch with an apple. So look at your relationships that you're choosing, if you're single or if you're in a relationship, or, you know, like, do you feel extravagant or do you not? That is going to be determining on how you understand. And are you feeling like an idiot about your love life? Well, you got to look at the partner that you're with or the partner that you're choosing, because this is where you have to find that extravagance and that beautiful energy and that feminine love that can truly be yours in your life. Your challenge for this is the Sagittarius card, like your own ego and how you want things to look and to be. So this can be a little confusing, but it's more like love is trying to come into the most beautiful way for you, Sag, when it comes to extravagant and beauty and true, not being like an idiot. There's something about the Queen of Rods when it comes to love. She is the most well-versed about being in love. But with this Sag cards, it's like your ego, your own perception of how it should look, or of how the story is. It's like you're not seeing it all right. Like maybe you have some belief that's holding you back, right? Like, oh, I can't because of this. It's especially like your challenge is the way that you see how that could happen. Go into what you don't think is the way that it should be. I dare you. Like, that's like the whole thing, is that belief that is holding you back from it is the belief in which you should go into, because then that's when the door will open. And you got inspiration. So it's about finding partners that are inspiring to you instead of partnerships that are no longer inspirational at all. And it doesn't even feel like an inspiration, because this is what it's all leading to. By choosing to be extravagant, by choosing to step into the power of the ultimate, not only beliefs, but the love and the amazing creativity that can be found by exploring, instead of denying yourself of exploring, to find the ultimate inspiration that you could have in your life. So this is a very major week, especially with this full moon in your relationship house. The spiritual advice card that we got is the soulmate card. Damn. So,
Sag.
you know, it's almost like you're afraid to see the soulmate that you want to see, right? Challenge. The IC of Sag. But you got, like, if you get over that, I love the way that we do these readings, especially when we throw this spiritual advice over the challenge, like Queen of Rods, soulmate, inspiration. An inspiring person who's your soulmate, instead of you blocking that from the belief of how you see it, but spirit is showing you a soulmate that maybe you're not willing to look at, or you're not willing to see, or you're having troubles with a soulmate situation that's not inspiring and not in the right alignment. And then there's ones that are. You're usually, because with soulmate in this card, there's a flip of two hearts. There's one that's not, like the false one, and one that is. You're not dumb. You are Sag. I would at least hope that you're not dumb. Sages are not supposed to be dumb. But lately, the good news is Mercury came out of Scorpio, so you're thinking clearly again. You're out of the 12th. You just went through a long 12th house Mercury. So now you can think straight. But you got to finish this Mars thing, and you got to put the cuts to ending situations that are not karmically good for you, and also activating the karmic ones that are. You did get the 4th house Mercury, and you've got it in Gemini. So yeah, this is about the environment around your home life. And is it all over the place? Is it chaotic? Is it anxiety ridden? Is it exciting? This is the question. Is it exciting, or is it crazy, right? Gemini, in your home life, in your foundation, in your emotion. You need to be very clear on what you want emotionally this week, so you can understand it and communicate it and this is what this week's about. You need to feel what you feel, and you need to then look at the environment, and you need to really look at the facts and go off what the facts say about why is this emotion bad? Where are all those facts? And if they all line up to a place that is just like trumping out the positives, like, what? But if then, where are the positives? Do they outweigh the negatives? Then, okay, yeah, you're clear on what you can do emotionally and where you can go based off these really intense major cards. These are very intense. For the birthday of Sagittarius, we will pull a card on the soulmate card, which you got the 9 of Wands. So, you know, what's worth defending and what is not when it comes to soulmate energy. Like, you know, so it's like putting walls up to defend relationships that, one, are they worth it? Like, or not? Or are you putting walls up to the kind of energy that you really want in your life, but what are you protecting? That's the question. Is not so much about why you put the walls up, like just because you're putting walls up. It's more like, what are you protecting yourself from, and what are you trying to protect? Because that is the answer to the kind of soulmate questions that you have, especially underneath that with a Sagittarius card about this belief in some sort of situation that's worth defending. That is it? Is it really allowing the soulmate energy to really come in, or is it leading to the inspiration or the ultimate love and finally the ultimate extravagance and beauty in your life that you want? What do you feel about that, Craig? Well, I take a quick pee, just 1 second pee, and I'll pick the next one, which
what's the next one? Taurus?
It's Aquarius.
Oh, perfect.
I gotta go pee.
Perfect. Well, I do feel like there has been a common theme today, which I would say is self-love and the appreciation and the knowingness that you are worthy to attain everything that you want in this life. Because that's where we can tend to get lost. We may look at ourselves, we may look at situations we've been into, we may look at people that have left us and say, what did I do wrong? Maybe I wasn't worthy, when in fact, my friends, it was them that was not worthy to be in your life. And once we can shake that off and kind of move forward, it's crazy the amount of appreciation and abundance that actually flows back into us, and the beauty that actually starts to really surround us and swirl, and like positivity that starts uplifting us. Food tastes better. Hugs are nicer. The sweet smell of life just gets a little bit better every single day that we can move past that and drop that funk, drop that self-doubt, and step into that self-worth. What do you think about that, Abby?
I love it.
Aw, I love you. Kumbaya all up in this place. But yeah, if any of you guys are in the Southern California area this Thursday, we are doing that event that David spoke on. It's going to be pretty badass, to say the least. We hope that you all can make it. You can email me at craig@theleoking.com for some information. There's a link on David's Facebook, like you mentioned as well. So reach out. We hope that you all can come and join us on the last full moon. What's going on
In 2010.
The 20s. You missed out.
What did I miss out on?
Everything.
Shit.
So much has happened in the last 30 seconds.
I was going to say, like, when I was on my past life regression, I felt like I missed out on so much. I was, like, gone for hours.
You did.
And an eternity. All right. What are we doing right now? Aquarians. All the 12th house. Saturn, Venus conjunct Saturn.
Venus conjunct Saturn.
Pluto in the 12th.
And Pluto in the 12th.
This is about, choosing partners that really open up your soul instead of toxic ones. 2, Sun and Sag, Moon in the 5th house. So Aquarius, looking at the love life, and does your world fit the love life that you want to be in? So you got to look at the kind of configuration of the science laboratory weird world you live in, if it will allow love in fully. Even if you are partnered, what do you need to adjust in your environment? And more importantly, what do you have to make some changes in your spiritual self or let go of some things in order to allow that love to come in better? Your card for this week is the Star card. So there is this kind of naked and afraid on that reality show. No, I'm just kidding. That is actually a good analogy of the Star card, kind of naked and afraid when they try and do the lovers. I think remember in the show Naked and Afraid, like it would just be like two random people, but then like some of them were like hooking up.
Yeah, I dated a girl that was on that. And that was the whole premise, that they tried to pretty much get them to hook up.
Get them to just like
they didn't have to do shit. They like literally
be all Cro-Magnon human and like go fuck in the woods.
They put them. There's like this beautiful waterfall. They didn't have to go like forage for fucking food. There's fruit trees everywhere, and they're just like, oh, post up in this fucking cave. It'll be nice, romantic.
One of the worst ones I ever saw that was when they put them like in. It was like in Florida, like in this like really weird gator area. Like there was like no land. It was like all marshland, and they were only on like logs and stuff, and there was alligators everywhere.
Fuck that.
And they were trying to hook up on the log. I was like, oh my gosh, naked. I was like, that straddle on the fucking log and get splinters. Wonderful. And then they have a big old mouth, just chomp. You know what? Off or... Yeah. Star card.
Happy.
There is some like fresh, energy I like about the Star card. It is like especially in relationships, I always feel like, there is kind of this like you're unsure of where things are going in your relationship life, and that's okay. Just like you're from a new space and just continue to let that happen. There's a fresh kind of energy coming in, but this also is, there is the stars trying to kind of guide you in a certain direction this week. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to where the universe is aligning you. You are kind of in a vulnerable place where you don't really know how to handle love this week. And it's not a negative thing. It just is kind of like, go to the places that make you feel where you have no baggage or you have no energy that's tainted. One thing about the Star card is it did not just get out of a mud wrestling match and get a garden hose shower like Craig and I were talking about as kids that we would get. But it's in a pure space. and picking relationships that are in a pure space in themselves. Like, you need to pick relationships that have a pure space, or you're fucked. Like, if they're not in a good space, or they're all toxic or on drugs or anything like that, like, stay away. This is a time for you to really be just you and connected with the universe and see what the universe is saying about your partnerships this week. I mean, it is, you are here watching this now, so there is a little bit of that, but go beyond this. Go beyond with your connection with spirit. That's the main thing of what Aquarians are going through anyways, is finding where their place is with spirit. The challenge card is the third house of messages. So it's unclear. I felt that, like, communication wise, what is the message? I think that, one is maybe you need to make yourself clear on what you exactly want. And if you don't know that with a star card, it's okay. Like, maybe it's okay to just kind of write off for a minute that you don't have to know everything, that you don't have to communicate everything, that you don't need to specifically understand everything. Like, I'm really feeling for Aquarians this week. It's like, this is just like learning to just roll with the flow and just go with the flow and see where things are going. Instead of like, especially because in this card, the third house of messages has Horus, the eye in it. Like, it's like the all-seeing eye. Like, but it's like this, I need to see from the highest position of where everything's going. It's like, well, maybe start that conversation and come from kind of a pure space. Like, I don't really know, because I don't think you do know. And I don't think that you have enough to know about what to say, except maybe the most simple stuff. Like, where are you thinking is this going? And then if they ask that back to you and you're like, well, I don't know. Well, it's like, is it worth asking the question? But at the same time, if you're in a relationship that does not feel pure and in a place of really like just kind of pure positive energy and connected with the divine, then you know what the challenge is that you have to speak up. Like, and you need to speak up about that energy needs to be cleared up and figure it out. And that could be a challenging situation. It could be also heated arguments, or it could be, that kind of stuff. You want to avoid arguments this week, but you definitely want to make sure that you're aligned with some really pure and positive energy this week, Aquarian, because abundance is waiting for you on the other side by just kind of really rolling through things with, the natural state of beautiful things, instead of rolling with, weird situations and holding on to the way that maybe looking, especially because before the star card is the tower card, like maybe looking at like where relationships were for you at one point and holding on to that and trying to make it that again, trying to revive the tower. Like, no, that'll fall. So, this is definitely an abundant time for you when you are in a pure space. And even if you don't understand why you're there, or you don't really know the messages that are trying to come in, like maybe it's when you are releasing yourself from that energy and just kind of rolling through things, that the message just will come naturally to you. You don't have to do anything. And then you can start to create what you want to create. Abundance is about, creation. And so things can be created by just taking kind of a stand away and back within yourself and the universe and seeing the messages that come to you and the things that come to you. You did pull the grounded card. So it's about being grounded without not knowing everything. Like just being grounded in your pure self, and that brings great abundance. It will bring your love life into a good space. Like, this is not the time to try and figure out, the CERN collider mission. Like, let's slam atoms into each other right now and see if we can find God. Like
the particle accelerator.
Yeah. No, not a good time for you to start doing that, Aquarius. This is a time to actually like take away from the mind and just kind of ground into the energy that you are and see what abundance shows up. Like, you don't really have to do much this week except be in alignment with just good things. But there is something to say if you're in relationships that are ungrounded and they're not in that pure, connected, pure space where there's an innocence. The star card is kind of innocent, so it's like the innocent thing is a good thing. But when a relationship's out of innocence and it's like not good, and the communication's been really crazy and weird, and it's not grounded in good communication and innocence, like, you're going to not get abundance at all. It's going to be doing quite the opposite. You did pull the first house sun in Scorpio. So, you know what? Focus on your own needs, wants first as your soul, but learn to draw in what you want by just being who you are, instead of trying to chase after what you want, as far as like, trying to penetrate situations. Like, receive. And then once you receive it, you can penetrate it all you want. You know what I mean? But actually, Aquarian, this is such a simple aspect. Like, and I think that the reason why that Aquarians have Gemini as their 5th house is because it's like love actually is pretty simple. It's pretty just cut and dry of what the facts make sense and what doesn't. Like it's not like this crazy math problem. That's why you are an Aquarius, is you're here to solve crazier problems than love, which is simple.
It is pretty simple, isn't it?
Yep. But when Aquarians try to create a math problem out of a romantic relationship, they never can solve that problem. Find me one. Look at Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, there must be a couple.
Look at Ashton Kutcher.
Going on up in there. What do you mean? Isn't he happily married with like kids?
I mean, did you see what Demi Moore said in her book about being with him and how she became obsessed with him and became a really weird deal and then you know and then he left Demi for Mila Kunis.
Well, yeah,
and caused even more complications there.
That was his first love. What do you expect?
And look at his career ever since that.
Well, I mean, he probably made a grip load of money too. He probably doesn't have to do shit.
I mean, he produced True Beauty I was on, so we'll just say that I know when him and let's just say that I know enough that fool sits at home with Mila Kunis and smokes cigarettes. It's like what they do.
I mean, there's worse ways to spend your day, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that, you know.
I've spent my day smoking cigarettes with less than Mila Kunis. That's for sure.
Well, how long until that gets like, you know what I mean? Especially as an Aquarius. So, and I don't know if it came out about, no, that was Justin Timberlake, who's another Aquarius, right? So it came out that, and I talked about this before, with Britney Spears and how that whole thing went down and how basically there's like a lot of connection on how Britney Spears went crazy based upon the way that he was treating her. That came out. And then just recently, Justin Timberlake got caught drunk with that woman that he's now in that new movie that they're filming called, I think it's called Palmer, which is ironic. And
it's you.
And he got caught in New Orleans drunk, holding her hand and like being all lovey-dovey, and the paparazzi caught him, and he had to make an apology to Jessica Biel, his wife.
What an idiot.
Aquarians get caught with their hand in the cookie jar in the wrong way when they start playing math problems with love.
You gotta lock it up, Aquarians.
Oh, Aquarians always have the weirdest love stories.
Too proud to beg.
I mean, I can go on for hours about Aquarians' love stories, like, you know what I mean? Like, woo, crazy ones.
What do we got? What are we looking at?
Well, it's between Capricorn and Taurus and...
Capricorn.
Well, what do we got left? We got... Oh, it's Capricorn and Taurus, so we're going to do with Taurus.
Oh, what? No, Taurus
You
last.
said to save the second best for last.
Yeah, so Taurus goes last because they're the second best.
Oh, I see what you mean. So then, okay, Capricorns are... No.
And since I picked them to go first...
We can cheat.
Hey, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
This is where I'm going to teach people how Capricorn works. Guess what? We run the show. we own the show. Capricorn. You know what I mean? And it's Capricorn. And Taurus is going last. You know what I mean?
You're welcome.
When one of the owners and founders of High Vibe is sitting behind the set and, you know, is okay, like, yep, that's Capricorn, right? It's kind of like, oh, yep, Capricorn's going now. Oh, yeah, okay, Capricorn's going now. You know? You're Cap Rising, so you're getting both your readings right now as a Taurus Cap Rising.
Abby?
You're getting it fucking right now. All right. Capricorns, I gotta be real. All right. Let's get to some real shit on some Capricorns. I'm gonna get real on the last two signs. I've been real the whole time, but we gotta get a little bit amped up here about what Capricorns are going through in love, because holy fucking moly. All right. Number one, Venus conjuncting Saturn and Pluto in your own sign. Whoa. You want to talk about are relationships really in alignment with your life and really at the core of the place you want to be in the world? That's a big question with a full moon in your 6th house and a sun in the 12th. You're still not over this 12th house energy with the sun still here. So there is a lot of questions of what fits in reality and what reality is really in alignment for you in relationships. Like, you're kind of in between realities right now, and you have to make some hard choices for what's best for you in yourself. And that's hard right now because Venus on top of Saturn in your sign is like, oh, you want that? Are you going to keep that? Is it really good for you being a Capricorn? Are you going to really get what you want? Oh, and then there's Pluto being like, oh, you're going to obsess and still hold on to this motherfucking shit? Jupiter's in your sign, square Chiron. Like, emotions are real fucked up for Capricorns right now. Like, especially off what they identify as like home, family, or even more importantly, just emotionally what they believe they want to have. Like, you got to look at some Capricorns are going through some weird shit. And this week with Mercury in your 12th, you're not thinking, you're being revealed of where all the stuff you've been suppressing with Jupiter that was here for the last year, and now the sun's here. This is like where all the stuff you suppressed. You're going through a wake up. Like, what the fuck am I in right now?
Wake up.
Whether that's like nothing or the craziest, weirdest relationship situation you probably have ever been in your life.
Rise and shine.
That you continue to stay in, or single Capricorns that are dating. Like, fuck. Like, man. Like, maybe I should just really like be myself and go for people like me instead of me going for these people that are totally not like me. Hermit reversed.
Uh-oh.
Capricorn, got to pull that. One, I mean, we're going to look at this from both angles. One, I think that Hermit reversed is saying like, you need to come out and play a little bit and be real and be your true self. Like, you already are the hermit kind of energy. Like, sometimes I know Capricorns are not all the same. Like, I know some crazy ass fucking Capricorns, but there is something to say about this Hermit reverse being like, you need to step out of this kind of weird, like old state. Like, where's the fun and where's the love? And why are you trying to be like a grandma or a grandpa? Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, are you, I thought this was love, but you got to make some serious choices. And the Hermit reverse is saying like, you know, maybe you've been playing this wise choice for so long, but it's not panning out. Like, the Hermit might think it knows everything and it's lighting the way, but the truth is it is not the end all be all. The Hermit does not know it all. It thinks it does. It thinks it's this wise man because it's so old and it's gained all this knowledge. The Magician is connected to spirit and knows all. The Hermit kind of is like, I light my own fucking ego's way. I'm going to be honest with you. Hermit has some good wisdom and knows how to be like, brush your teeth twice a day, like, or else you get cavities. Like, make sure that you take a shower every week so you don't get scabies and fucking MRSA. You know what I mean? Like, there's like, you know, like, make sure you eat your prunes when you get over this age because you don't want to have hemorrhoids every fucking day. Like,
Yeah, you don't want
these are Hermit stuff. Okay. Hermit reverse is like, why are you playing like a prune? Like, you drinking prune juice? If I hear of one Capricorn drinking prune juice right now during this transit, you're going to be pooping and not having relationships. Go the right way you want to. I think that this is saying come out and like take off the fucking like I'm a wise wizard when you're not really a wizard at this moment, because you look at your situation and obviously if you were a wizard it would be fucking amazing, which obviously it's not. Your challenge card is the Gemini. You're not there. Again, your thoughts are definitely, your environment that you're in is stale. And the environment is not exciting. The environment, and this is a full moon in your 6th house. It means that you are in a reality and an environment that you need to spice it up. Be in the environment that makes you excited. That's what's going to bring it in. And if you've just moved into this kind of environment, then take off the kind of, the Hermit is a very slow moving, like, I'm ready to go get a walker for the Hermit. You know what I mean? Like, hey, did you call Life Alert for the Hermit? Life Alert. Like, Hermit reverse is saying like, take that Life Alert off, throw that walker out, and get back out there into your true self. Especially with Venus conjunct Saturn and Pluto, and with Mars in the 11th house right now for you. Like, come on, this is a time to go out and be social. This is time to go experiment with some deep fucking Mars and Scorpio penetration into people. And with your, and Chiron coming out of retrograde this week for you in your 4th house, like, you're not going to feel so crippled emotionally because you're going to realize that you just spent the last like 5 months really going into this weird emotional space and getting emotional over things that, you know what, were misidentified. And with Uranus, of course, getting ready to trine Jupiter. I'm giving Capricorns a lot here. With Jupiter starting to trine Uranus in your love house, Uranus is in your love house, like, if you are not living the full understanding of the person that you know you are and the abundance of what you have as yourself, then how are you going to have love? Because if you're not who you really are and the truth of who you are, and you're being this old grandpa energy and grandma energy, and you got your life alert on, you're drinking your prune juice, and you're wearing Depends, that's the reality that you're in. And with that challenge of the Gemini card, you're not thinking that straight. When, to be honest with you, it's like you're trying, Capricorn, to be away from like the crazy, amazing, radical love. It's like there's like subconscious mental stuff going on, especially a full moon in Gemini. And with Mercury in your 12th house, it's going to be in that Mercury rules Gemini. So we got to look at Mercury, and it's in your 12th. So yeah, this is like this kind of weird subconscious thing that you have to live. And especially if you're in the spiritual community, Capricorns that are acting way too spiritual, like high, like up, like, come on, like you're never going to let anybody in, or you're going to stay in a situation like, oh, I have to stay in this because, and it's like, wow, this reality, it's like stale. That's the word, stale. Are you going to stay in stale? There's nothing worse than crispy crackers that are stale. My grandmother, love her to death, because she still keeps the crispy cracker containers that were metal.
With Ritz?
No, crispy.
With Ritz with peanut butter and jelly on them?
Ritz is like 80s, bro. I'm talking like 1950s, Betty Crocker days, apron, 1950s, crispy crackers. The original like saltine cracker came in tin bins. Am I right, Abby?
If you're into that type of stuff, I guess it's decent.
And today, they give it in paper boxes. So that means that they go bad way quicker. But in a tin bin, that shit'll last and stay crispy a long time. My grandmother still has that crispy tin from the 50s, puts the crispy crackers in there. What I'm trying to say is,
she's crispy.
This is a lot of stale energy in love, but it's choosing to keep it in stale energy and eat and ingest stale energy constantly, instead of being like, let me just throw all that stale energy out and let me just go get some crispy motherfucking saltine crackers. Then, Craig, go get some Ritz, then add some peanut butter and jelly, and now we're having a fucking party.
Yeah.
With a crispy cracker in the middle. Make it like a Big Mac. 2 Ritz with a crispy cracker with peanut butter and jelly under the fucking crispy, and
then maybe even we'll do a little Elvis Presley special. We'll make a s'more, and then we'll put the peanut butter jelly inside of it.
With bacon.
All of it. Yum, 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 yum.
He did like bacon with his PBJ. I think it was just peanut butter and bacon or something like that.
Yeah, we could do that. I actually, I had a peanut butter jelly sandwich for lunch today with grape jelly.
That's good.
It was really good.
Let's see. After this reading, I don't know. I mean, where's the future here going to come for Capricorns? And you got fertility. Are you ready to have a baby? Better not be no fucking old, decrepit alien baby.
It's perfect time to consummate that love and make some babies out there, Cap.
Oh my God.
Throw those rubbers in the trash can, baby. Live wild. Live wild.
No, this is about building relationships that actually have some, if it's not stale, right? It's fertile.
Yeah.
So there is something to say about getting out of stale energy actually will create fertility. Of course, fertility is always associated with having a baby, but maybe you can birth love. Although babies are love childs.
So they say.
So they say.
It can cause
but
stress too.
It also could be that, that if you've been feeling the stale energy and this old energy and just kind of stale, like there is so much fertile energy for you to go create the love that you want right now if you change the environment and your schedule and the energies that you're around in your environment. And even if you implement that, you got to get rid of this hermit reversed. Throw the walker away. Like life alert off. Life alerts are not sexy. I don't know if you know that yet. Maybe in 2045. Might be really sexy to have a life alert on and be like, hey, at any minute, fucking I can call a fucking ambulance here. Boop. But that would kind of scare people.
It's kind of sexy to get saved. You know, it's not sexy.
Dude, imagine having
Not
sex
getting
with a
saved.
Capricorn that had a life alert on and you accidentally fucking touched it. And the next thing you know, like the ambulance are there. They're like, sorry, we're pulling you off of that Capricorn and you got to go in the ambulance. Like, they're not going to say, oh, you're okay. Like, they'll be like, oh, she's probably having a heart attack or he's having it, whatever.
So you go in the ambulance together.
Oh, that's a really great time
On the
to
gurney.
have sex, is in an ambulance going down the fucking street and with them doing
I mean, if not
with
in an ambulance,
oxygen,
then when?
you know, and then checking your pulse and
me.
all that shit. Like,
Yeah, you get that. The pulse would be
you're
pumping.
pretty much saying that like you would still get, hey, I admire you. I'm Mars Scorpio. Hey, I'd do it too. But I'm just saying, like,
I'm just saying.
that, like, is that the most pristine condition?
I mean, there's worse places, I'm sure. At least, I mean, you're under supervised, you know.
What about taking off some depends
If you're-
that are not necessary? I understand that people have to wear depends,
Yeah.
but I'm saying that because
We'll
that are
only
not
all be so lucky
that are
to
not
be able to wear Depends one
necessary.
day.
Or we'll use a better example, like Fruit of the Loom's, like whitey tighties for women or men,
Yeah, that's what I wear right now.
when there could be silk panties
Whitey
on
tighties.
or boxers for guys,
No,
like
the tightest of the whites. That's how I.
with a little bit of fucking Hershey squirt, fucking.
No. Not yet. Maybe in like.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is that really? If you went
30 years.
behind,
Give me 30
like, since you
years.
like girls, I like girls. Like if you went behind a chick and there was a little Hershey squirt and it was like wearing the Hanes, like fucking Fruit of the Loom, whatever, planes.
I mean, I guess that depends. Like, have we
With
been at,
with a life alert on.
have we been at like a festival all weekend? You know, and
With a life alert
it all
on.
depends. It all depends. I'm an equal opportunity individual.
Yeah, I am too. I'm just using. Okay, God, I got to think of a million other examples, but we'll find out this last card. Guides, you got to. Wow, you're being guided by spirit to really one. You know things are stale, so follow your guides to the energy that's not stale, and allowing yourself to not feel guilty if you just have to get out of stale situations and tell stale people that they're stale. That you're not the one who's stale, Capricorn, unless you choose to be and choose to stay in living a stale life. And you can create the identity that it's magical in every way and all that stuff. But let's be real. We're talking about love here and wanting to have connection. There's something to say that not enough of that magic that you might be putting in your outlook about life or God or anything. Like, it's okay to give some of that energy into that magic, into love, and follow the guides and ask your guides for help to change the reality. But again, with Gemini being the card of challenge and thinking, and that rules environments, and it's the sixth house ruler and the full moon's in Gemini, that the challenge is that does your schedule with a hermit reversed that's saying, like, I don't know why the first thing that popped up at the beginning of this reading is like, take off that robe, but let's see who you really are, because it's so cloaked.
Take it off.
Like, it's like wearing a muumuu.
He's probably got some crusty tidy whities underneath that robe.
Exactly. Hospital edition.
It's my favorite.
You know what? You need to go post. Just go on Pornhub and just be like, Whitey Tidy Hospital Edition porn. like, what did you say? Top shelf?
Top shelf, baby. You're going to see this mug pop up. The tightest of the whites, bro. Come on, man. You know, they hold everything in place. I'm getting old. I'm sinking down. It's called gravity. I'm 33. Shit's falling apart.
Oh my God. What happened? Okay. Sun and Leo in the 8th. this is you having to get sexual. Roll the fucking, I was going to say the Barry White, but that's like too Capricorn. It's like, where do we need to go with this one? Like, what is like, this is about where you need to, like, one, if you're not attracted to it, get out of it. Two, if you're extremely attracted to it, well, at least walk into the lobby and make sure that it's not crazy and your guides say it's chill and it's not some toxic reality situation. Then fucking barrel down. But, you know, this is a transformation in your love life that's trying to happen this week. And it's a transformation by whether or not you're going to admit your true heart out there and let people see it and be it. Or you're going to hide it. And I knew that with that Hermit reverse and getting a sun in the 8th house, Leo. I know some sun in the 8th house Leos in my life. Let me tell you. They look one way, but they do other things in the background.
It's a Kansas City shuffle.
Oh, yeah. Pole dancer. People might know that song.
People in the chat are amped for this baby talk, though. They're ready.
Are Capricorn, or what, Capricorns are like, I'm ready to have a baby with somebody I don't want to have a baby with to save the relationship.
All of them.
Wow.
Everyone in the chat.
Wow.
They're all looking forward to having babies.
Well,
and grandkids.
There's a lot of alien babies waiting for Capricorns that are not with people that they're not fully set. I'm going to be very honest, because Capricorns are in a weird position right now with Uranus in the 5th, with a full moon in the 6th, and more importantly, with the Sag energy and Mercury finishing here. And we need to remember that Saturn's getting ready to come in the 2nd house for all Capricorns, like in Aquarius in March on the 22nd. That it's like, you already can sense what you're not that attracted to anymore.